Karen cut my gate and stole my Lambo. Too bad Homeland Security was tracking it. The sun was dipping low over Willow Creek, painting the quiet suburb in hues of amber, when I heard the screech of metal that changed everything. My name's Ethan, and I'd spent years building a life here, modest house, a thriving tech startup, and my pride and joy. A cherry-red Lamborghini Aventador parked in my gated driveway. That gate, sturdy and iron, was my boundary against the world. Until Karen. Karen moved in next door 6 months ago, her arrival marked by complaints about my gaudy car, my noisy startup meetings, even the way my dog barked. She was the kind of neighbor who'd report you for a blade of grass out of place. Her voice sharp enough to cut glass. But I tried to keep the peace, nodding politely when she ranted about community standards. I didn't know she'd take it this far. That evening, I was on a call with investors when the crash echoed. I ran outside to find my gate in ruins, its bars twisted like paper. My Lamborghini was gone. Karen stood by her porch, arms crossed, a smirk playing on her lips. "Maybe someone finally taught you a lesson," she said, her tone dripping with venom. I called the cops, my hands shaking, but Karen's smugness told me she knew something I didn't. The police arrived, took statements, and left with promises to investigate. I was gutted, replaying Karen's words, her confidence. That's when I remembered the tracker. My startup worked with Homeland Security on anti-theft tech, and I'd installed a prototype in the Lambo, a GPS so precise it could pinpoint a car in a sandstorm. I logged into the system, and there it was, my car, parked at an abandoned lot 10 miles away. I called my contact at Homeland Security, Agent Torres, and within hours, they were on the move. The next morning, I stood by my ruined gate, heart pounding, as 2 black SUVs rolled up. Agent Torres stepped out, her face grim. "We found your car, Ethan, and something else." Before I could elaborate, Karen's garage door rumbled open. There, in her driveway, was my Lamborghini, gleaming, untouched. Karen froze, her coffee mug slipping from her hands, shattering on the concrete. "You're under arrest, Mrs. Carver," Torres said, cuffs glinting in the sunlight. Karen's smirk vanished, replaced by wide-eyed panic. "This is a mistake," she screamed, lunging toward the car as if she could hide it. Neighbors gathered, whispering, their phones recording every second. I wanted to feel vindicated, but something in Torres's tone, something heavy, kept me uneasy. The twist came from an unlikely source. Mrs. Nguyen, the quiet widow across the street. She shuffled forward, her voice barely above a whisper. "I saw her son," she said, pointing to Karen's teenage boy, Dylan, who'd been lurking by my gate that night, bolt cutters in hand. Karen's face drained of color. "He's got nothing to do with this," she snapped, but Dylan, trembling, confessed. Karen had pressured him, ranting about taking back the neighborhood. He'd cut the gate, driven the car to the lot, thinking it was a harmless prank. What he didn't know was Karen's plan to sell it to a chop shop for cash to pay off her debts. The revelation hit like a punch. Karen wasn't just a petty tyrant, she'd manipulated her own son into a crime, thinking she'd take the fall. Dylan's tear-streaked face met mine, and I saw a kid caught in her web, not a criminal. Homeland Security hauled Karen away, the Lambo secured, but the victory tasted like ash. My car was back, but the trust in my neighborhood shattered. As they led her away, she turned to the crowd, her voice shrill. "You all judge me, but who hasn't bent the rules for their family?" Her words lingered, a bitter reminder of how far desperation could drive someone. Dylan stayed behind, staring at the ground, abandoned by the mother who'd used him as a pawn. I rebuilt my gate, stronger this time, but the scars remained. Karen's house went up for sale, her name a cautionary tale whispered by neighbors. I offered Dylan a job at my startup, hoping to give him a path forward, but he left town, carrying his mother's shadow. Mrs. Nguyen now brings me coffee some mornings, her quiet presence a reminder that community can mend what it breaks. The Lamborghini sits in my garage now, a trophy of a hollow win. Karen thought she'd stripped me bare, but she forgot. Justice has a way of catching up, and sometimes It's watching silently from above. I wonder, though, if we're all one bad day away from crossing that line. What do you think? Was Karen's betrayal purely selfish? Or does desperation blur the line between right and wrong?